we're here! I forgot to move my mic over. 1 second. They're gonna keep cheering.
Crazy
Okay, that's enough.
What's
What's up, everybody? It's Monthly Minutes.
We're here. Let's go.
We're here. Let's go. You got me, Mystic, the GM, DM. You got Avis, Zibba, player, and last minute addition because he's an amazing team player, Adam, aka Godfrey, another player. And maybe we'll have Daniel in here later, but he has some technical emergencies he needs to deal with, because life.
Technology's never on our side.
Never. Literally never. It's just out to get us.
Yes.
I adjust that quite often.
I bought a robot vacuum recently, and Liz is just like, better be nice to it. Better whisper it sweet nothings.
Yeah.
Nah, we're way
with my
far away
car.
from that.
Well, cool. We're here to talk about episodes 43 and 44 of Utopia and the one-shot adventure, which was super fun, super exciting.
And that is all out on Spotify now, correct?
It's all out on everything, wherever y'all listen to content.
Listening back to it on Spotify, listening to the episodes, it was more chaotic than I remember. Was it really this chaotic in the moment? I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that is how it went down. But there's something always about listening back to the episodes. I'm always like, whoa, did I say that, or I didn't catch that comment the first time? Who said that thing?
Oh yeah, love that too. Mostly about you. Yes, you have so many that I
I'm editing.
or listen back. Like today, I was listening
Back to episode 40.
like right home.
Walking
My
my
bike down
this huge hill to get it to
the bike. Yeah. That's
Ziba left her backpack in the cell.
Oh yeah.
I've missed that. You missed that. You never go back for it, but
I'm
know.
missing my entire backpack, aren't I?
you're missing your entire backpack.
That's a later
Well,
issue.
I mean, that would cause some problems. I think
It
in
would
the
cause some
timeline.
problems. And we already
Yeah,
RP'd
sure,
a whole
I
nother
used
session
to.
after that.
Yeah.
Let's just assume that my nice friend that I met in the cells returned it to me, and that just was never mentioned. I feel like they would. I feel like what they would. When they're climbing out there, they would take all the belongings, right?
Maybe.
You would just find it like the next day
It just appears.
and just think that you
Who put
picked
it there? Mushroom King? I don't know.
Yeah, could be anyone.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start with episode 43, which is called The Rules of Friendship. That's a lie. Episode 43 is called Anything for Them.
Mhm.
And oh my god, we had a conversation before our session, Avis, when you were talking about like the heartbeat in the episode.
Oh yeah, that freaked me out. When I was listening to it, I was like, what's going down? Every time that
Beautiful.
heartbeat sound came on, I was like, all right, I don't need this amount of tension in my life. Okay.
I was very excited about that idea I had and how it worked out. So, episode 43, Godfrey has been bitten.
Mhm.
The rest of the party run away. Avis is not here for this play session.
So both in character and as a player, was not there for that. Did not know what went down.
Did you end up listening to the audio of the
I
session?
listened to the first like hour and a half, like the first half of it, and it was right up until that point, like where they're like, "Okay, everyone else, leave," because you told everyone else to like leave the chat.
did,
Basically, that's as far as I got, and so I literally had no idea what happened until the episode came out on Spotify. And that's where I listened to it. And so I listened to the episode on Spotify and I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. I'm kind of glad I did wait though, because then I got all the nice little, like, all the editing and like sound background sounds you put in. And I think it was a better experience, honestly.
Whoa, nice. Well, we'll start with Adam. So, whoa.
Yeah.
There's a moment, I actually just pulled it, maybe not that exactly, but pulled a little clip from the episode before that, 42, when you get bit for like an Instagram video. But there's a moment in that fight where you're like, I didn't expect it to get to this point.
Yeah.
And for the listener, or for you all, this is all one session, right? So like everyone, the start of the session is y'all are scheming what to do at the tower, and then you get bit and you run to the forest, and then there's this whole back and forth. I guess I'm just going to pass it to you. What are your thoughts? What was going through your mind? What was going through Godfrey's mind?
Yeah. So through my mind, you know, as a player, I'm like, well, am I really going to be able to grapple this god? Is this situation going to be able to play out like it's playing out in Godfrey's head, where he gets in and creates enough time for them to get away and then manages to get away himself? Like, is that going to be an appropriate plan? Will he be able to pull it off? And, you know, Godfrey's athletic, but not super athletic, you know? So I was going in not expecting to succeed in the grapple, it succeed, and then also having the players actually run away, which is something that hasn't happened in any other group I've ever been part of when I've played a character who is kind of selfless in this way, where they want to like try to make the sacrifice to let things get away. Most of the time the party turns around and tries to help them fight, and then it gets worse or better, you know, depending on how rolls go. So I was excited to get that opportunity. And then we rolled for initiative, and I was like, I don't have a plan.
Like, that was it. I
Let's
didn't
just
expect to get
roll.
this far.
Yeah. You know, we got this far. Big success. They ran away. That's great. What now? Do I stand here and try to fight a god one-on-one? Like, I don't think I want to do that. Do I try to dodge attacks and then run away myself? So. Yeah, it looks like Mystic has frozen. Good old technology.
It's never our friend.
Which you got bit and then you ran away. So, well, I'm still here.
Hello.
Come on. Hello. Can you see me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Am I back?
Hey, yeah.
Okay. Oh, good.
I never froze on my screen, so that's very weird. Cool. Well, you get away, everyone else gets away, you run through the woods, you lean up against a tree, and your heart stops beating. And we can't really talk more about that because that's spoilers.
Mhm.
Did you
But then
Did you get to the bird part?
what?
The bird?
The bird?
Yeah, because I listened to it, I remember it. But there was this
Yeah.
thing with the heartbeat where you're like, you see this bird on this branch, and I'm like, what's this bird doing here? Immediately suspected that bird of like murder. I was like, this bird has done something terrible. And it was just a bird. I don't know why you included that description, but it freaked me out, and I still remember it.
Well, I mean, I have my theories on the bird, but like
There's theories about the bird?
I don't know what the bird is. as a
It
player.
felt
Like, I've had to
significant.
get-
I don't know if it was just the background noise, but I was like, what's with this
Well,
bird?
I think we know, or we read somewhere that Erebus and Nyx is a shapeshifter, right? So I expected that to be her following him, or them following him. I'm sorry. Erebus uses all three pronouns, right? He,
Yeah.
he,
Mhm.
they. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's what I expected, or it was like a minion or a familiar of Erebus.
Oh, really? I had no theory. I was like, oh, wait, no, it is just a bird. Is it a bird? Wait, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a bird.
And that's why
And
when
an
Godfrey
evil.
first saw it, he tried to stand up and get away, but then couldn't because he was, his body was failing. The second theory I have is it might be like an emissary from Mysteria somehow, but I think that's less likely because Mysteria is usually cat-based, I think.
I think it's wild how, like, legit, if you talk about the scenario, it's like, oh, they saw a bird on a branch. And you'd think it'd be so mundane, like, minuscule, like, moment. But still, we're all like, all right, so I saw this bird. So here's all these conspiracy theories I got about this bird, right?
Well, yeah, it's because we're telling a story, right? And if Mystic's putting in that detail specifically, then there's a reason why the Raven was there and why it's relevant. And it's probably going to be something that'll come back and come into play again later in the story, I would imagine. So I always like to take that and be like, what's happening here? Is this symbolic? Is it just like a symbol of death coming too?
Oh.
Like that might just be what it is.
Oh.
So, it could be a lot of things.
What I'm hearing is I need to overanalyze stuff more, but I still never forgot that moment. I still never forgot that bird.
Yeah, there's also this really great moment where the dice just like wanted you to tell this story, which is insane. Yeah. I've heard all these things about like the dice tell the story, but like this particular session, it really does. And were you frustrated when you were rolling lowly?
No, I lean into the low rolls as much as I can. It's like I like the story that it ends up telling when you fail as well as succeed. It's as fun for me to try to think of reasons why my character is failing as reasons why they're successful.
Yeah. Try to climb that tree.
Yeah. Fell down. Well, it makes sense. His arm got bit, probably not working. His heart's slowing down. Some sort of poison seeping into his system. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense why he can't do that thing he should normally be able to do really easily.
Daniel's here!
Hey, everybody.
We're talking about our bird conspiracies.
Yeah.
The Raven. AKA Godfrey.
It's never just a bird, is what I realized.
In the forest running away. And slowing down. I think there's more.
He's also took it out.
I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there is. It might just be a simple foreshadowing device. It might have just been a particular bird, to set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I buy it.
I don't know where the line is, man. Is it just a bird?
The lines are blurry.
This has been keeping me up. This bird has been keeping me up.
Oh, man. Adam, do you have anything else to add about episode 43? It's just that. It's just horribly low rolls, intense moments, and then silence.
Yeah, no, I just loved it. Like, we went on like a bit of a break with the main story after that because we did the one shots after that, and it was just a month of me being like, man, I want to get back to the table. I want to keep playing through this. But yeah, I was also excited about what the rest of the party was doing during that time, just like the sheer dichotomy between these two stories playing out.
I was busy getting a concussion in the woods.
Yeah.
It's like ends up woods on the way to the place where Zara's heart led. Ziba does as well, which, you know, you weren't there, Avis. I didn't want to take a lot of character license, but yeah. Talk
I'm
about
kind of
that
happy with
feeling.
the whole concussed way you dealt with that. Of just, oh, yeah,
Good.
you got concussed in the woods. Because when I came back, I was like, I have a right to be confused. Mystic.
We love technology here at the Utopia Podcast.
Morgus, what do you think of
Stalwart.
your cupcakes in the woods?
I'm sure Morgus thought they were great.
Are there no side effects of that? Of just eating a bunch of like mushrooms?
Well,
Like, was someone vetting the mushrooms as you picked them up, and that's why you did?
No.
No.
and that, like, the actual saving throw that Morgus failed, I'm not sure that it was from the mushrooms or something else. To my memory, I think it might have been something else. And I'm forgetting what episodes have actually
We're talking
aired,
about
and I don't wanna
43 and
spoil anything.
44 today.
Okay, where did 44 leave off before I spoil
Well,
something I
I
shouldn't?
think right now we're talking about 43, which leaves off at the end with
It was
you.
through the woods.
Yeah. Let me.
So
And
did,
basically, everyone was unconscious and then kind of stopped.
did we get to where we were going by the end of 44?
Let me check.
Sure.
It did end up with them in the glade with all of the people who were missing with the Bigfoot abduction, and it ended with Scylla and Livy making a perception check.
Okay, so we met who was in the glade,
I believe so.
or the audience did.
40. I
Because-
know by 44 I was back. So for the entire
Yeah.
session that I was gone, that has all been released.
Okay, so Maya's a thing.
Yes.
Okay, good. No, I as a player suspect that the effect that Morgus failed, or the effect that overcame Morgus, had to do with Maya and Maya's pulling people there, when apparently not pulled there by Yeti.
Everyone needs a part-timer, hired help.
Yeah.
Extra set of hands.
Yeah, you know, when there's no reception, you gotta do it.
So I feel like the Yetis though themselves were also a target though.
Oh,
I love how we both stop and go, can I say that?
we'll have to find out.
Possible.
Yeah, no, I mean, because what we know is that the Yeti was out snatching people, and then the other was in the cell with you, Ziba, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. I think this is a symptom of me not having re-listened to the episode recently.
I just finished 44. In 44, I am talking in the cell with another person.
Yeah, okay.
That's the very end of 44. I am talking in a cell with another person.
Okay.
So everything before that, but I'm trying to figure out what I can't say.
Yeah, hopefully Mystic will return shortly.
Her Wi-Fi said, nah.
Yeah.
It's not what we like Wi-Fi to say.
I have to laugh every time in this application when somebody's screen goes, it just says their internet is weak. Just like, oh, Riverside is merciless.
Mine's always nicer about it. It's always like, we can't show their video right now, but we're still recording the high quality content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, mine's
Yeah.
always a little nicer about it. Maybe it's because my internet's the one that weak, and it's like passive aggressive about it. It's like, well, I don't want to say that you're weak, so I'll tell everyone else. But for you, don't worry, it's fine.
It's telling you one thing and the rest of us another
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's a little two-faced, but all right.
So yeah, Mystic is still trying to come back. Her computer has now said no. And
No.
technology continues to be a great fan of the Utopia D&D podcast.
Let's just try and continue to piece together what had
Yeah.
happened between those
lucky
moments.
that-
So,
We're lucky dwarves are naturally resilient to poison for the mushrooms for Morgus.
Yeah.
that'll help. So, we're talking about any consequences or trips. Maybe he's just too tough for it. I feel like Morgus would have experimented in his time. Maybe he's built up a tolerance to even like the hard stuff.
I don't know if Morgus knows.
What does that mean?
Well,
What, he just went to some parties and thought they were just really good brownies and
well,
like...
no, it's. Do you remember when Morgus had the like memory moment where like, the image came back?
Oh, so
and
he
Morgus went,
literally doesn't know. He literally doesn't
I don't think
know.
he knows. I don't think he knows. There's just a period of time when he just nothing.
Maybe we just found out. Maybe that's what that was. I guess you gotta experiment, try a few other things, find out if it holds or not.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be no consequences for that.
So,
Sure.
yeah.
What was your guys' all reaction though when you met Maya? Because we got to that point.
Do you mean us as players or
Players or
What do you mean?
characters? Because like I wasn't there.
Okay.
I was in a cell and also physically wasn't there.
Well, Morgus was definitely charmed. Like definitely charmed. And I believe Maya was a child, or like in child form, rather. And so, I mean, Morgus was just, giddy and fawning over Maya, and I just kind of leaned into that. The earlier points in the campaign where we were at the court and we were all just doing like the happy food thing. I just took that energy and kind of dialed it up to 11 with Morgus because he was experiencing some things.
Has Morgus always secretly just wanted people to pamper with him?
I definitely get the sense that Morgus loves to pamper himself.
And it's just a pro if other people want to join in.
Doesn't mind pampering other people, but
Or the charmed effect.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Is Morgus ever going to invite me to a spa day?
Maybe.
Or is that very his space?
I mean, Morgus would probably have his own space and time, but then schedule time to make a spa day with other people. It would depend on what he wanted and felt he needed, whether he needed other people to be a part of that experience or not. So, Morgus is pretty particular about some things, others not so much.
All right. So I guess trying to guide our conversation in the absence of Mystic, is there any closing thoughts we have on episode 43? Anything for that?
End of 43 was we all got kidnapped, right?
Yep. was on their way to the Grove, and we took about like a month break from recording normal podcast.
I like how that ended for me. I mean, I thought it came back in a good spot for me to be like, what's happening?
Yeah. Awesome. So then we go into the Naughty Nighthawk, the 2-part live stream one-shot adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Where I think Daniel and I have talked about this a little bit outside of game 2. Just the character you brought to that game. So can you talk a little bit about it was Argona, right?
Yeah, Argona.
Can you
I
talk
think
a
it was
little
like
bit
the
about Argona?
goddess of like suffering or something was the name I picked. Argona. It was definitely. I was going off of like kind of what I knew about Rare Trick, because I had heard about Rare Trick from, the mutual friend of ours who plays in the Wednesday campaign, and that's who Scylla plays in that campaign. I didn't know if she was actually bringing them over or not at first. So there was also a side thing of I had made this rogue for my sister to play. And I was like, oh, it was a phantom rogue. And I was like, if Rare Trick is going to be playing Eulogy Bard, I feel like I can make this into a fun little character. And I wanted to have a starting, connection with some of the other people in it to like establish the character and give the character opportunities to like show little quirks about themselves and bits about themselves and like grow in the one shot, because it's hard to show a lot of growth in the one shot. I feel like the first one shot we did, I was amazed by the growth that Marcus was able to portray. Like that was amazing to me. And so I wanted to like see if I can get a character where I could, even if I couldn't aim for a major growth arc, I could get like start to reveal little quirks and bits of their personality. And I thought I could do that through Rare Trick. And I thought since they're a phantom rogue, that their thing should be that all of the, because the phantom rogue's like ability, Wails of the Dead, it's like they hear all the voices of the dead, right? And they can inflict this on another character to deal, I forget if it's psychic or necrotic damage. And I was like, well, if they're hearing the voices of the dead and Rare Trick plays a Eulogy Bard, I feel like it just makes sense that all the voices that the phantom rogue's hearing is the fan club of Rare Trick and all the eulogies that Rare Trick has given. And then I was like, let's just up it a bit. It's a rogue. They're deceitful and stealthy and kind of creepy. Or at least that's what I think. And so I was like, we're gonna make him into a little stalker for Rare Trick. And I just ran with that.
Yeah, I just remember I don't know if I had heard you say something about that point of, the audience or the the group of spirits in Argona's ear being those that Rare Trick has eulogized for. I don't remember if I heard you
Oh, it was never said.
saying that. Okay, so it was.
It was just hinted at the whole time.
Yeah, and then I remember making the connection in the one shot, and I just kind of went, that makes sense. That is brilliant.
There's just little things here and there, or just say stuff to like kind of hint at it, but we never straight out were like, "Hey, is this like what's happening here?"
Yeah.
I wondered how many people caught on to that, because it wasn't even till afterwards that Liz like messaged the Discord and was like, "Is this what was happening?" It was like 100%.
Yeah.
That is 100%
Yeah.
what was happening. Hi,
Very well
Miss
done.
Nick.
I'm back. I'm glad you all kept going without me. You are amazing.
Yeah. I didn't really think about it as you left. Did the stream continue even though your computer was off?
Yeah, we're still alive.
It typically does.
Oh, wonderful. That's great.
It did last time that happened, at least. So I'm assuming it was.
Yeah, I have band practice after this, and then I might literally go try and figure out how to buy a new computer. I'm so done with all of this bullshit. So thank you, patrons, for your support. If only we could do that for everyone. But we will eventually as it grows. Yeah, keep going. I don't know where you are. I mean,
we were talking about
the one shot.
Argona.
We're just
Yeah.
talking about our characters.
Argona's little
Argona.
quips.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Argona really shined.
I don't remember half what I said, and then I was listening back on it. I was like, oh yeah.
There were several times during that one shot where you would say things that were like really into the stalker area, where I was like, I am uncomfortable. I'm playing a blood sorcerer. You're making me. I don't know if I want to hang out anymore. Yeah.
Right from the get-go, I was like, oh, Rare Trick sent down the weave they're working on. I'm gonna go find that. That's mine now. Yeah. I'm glad we did the warm-ups for that, because like during the warm-ups, like it was halfway through the warm-ups I was starting to get like, oh, okay, yeah, I feel like character now. I know what I need to. Yeah, okay, I know what I'm gonna say. But it wasn't even until halfway through the warm-ups I really think you guys were starting to catch on how little creepy my character was gonna be. I always appreciate when we do those.
Well,
if your characters were gonna join one of the guilds, or you were gonna join one of the guilds, which would it be? The councils, I should say.
Well, I feel like it would probably be whatever one Rare Trick joins, but if like Rare Trick doesn't join one, all right, and say I had to make a choice on my own moral compass, it'd probably still be the textile club, because imagine what I could make in dedication to Rare Trick. Like I could start like a t-shirt line, like, you know, we could do like a whole crochet blanket, like we could get into cross stitch, like, just saying, there's room there. For improvements.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I like to think Mern would have joined the Gardeners Guild just because their facilities were a lot more upscale.
Yeah.
You'd finally get one of those fucking cookies.
Yeah. Now that you know that there's not flesh in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Thomas would also join the gardening one, because he's kind of into the big, giant, scary plant that they have at the bottom of their base. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
We were kind of dicks to them.
You were very much dicks to them.
Yeah.
Chance.
Nope.
Our bad.
One shot. I love.
I'm able to just like whip a little tiny story arc out. But I was chatting with my partner in the shower, and I was like, I have the structure. I know where, I know like what's
gonna happen. I don't have the hook. Like I don't know what the hook is. Like, is the hook enough that it's just and it's capture them? Like, yeah. It's amazing. But how did you all feel about that particular piece of the story?
I built my character to be committed to whatever Rare Trick does, so I feel like whatever the hook was, I was gonna be like, that's good for me.
Yeah, I thought the hook was good. Like, there's a little bit of mystery to it. You know, people went missing. There's a little bit of rivalry to it. You know, it's something like valuable, so you get that kind of angle if people just want to, you know, try to go find the thing. Maybe not even return it, just keep it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of like cool layers to that.
Nice.
And I hope you don't mind that I'm sometimes muting and eating, because I was last second. Asked if so.
Yeah, I think the just the mystery of it, of what happened to these people, you know, and when you think about a golden loom, that could be treasure, that could be magic, it could just be painted gold, you know, and the rivalry part, I think, as well. You know, I could very easily see Myrn just buying into the whole, we don't like these people. These are bad people. They need to be taken down a peg. And we did that. And then we went, oh, maybe they're not as... oh, well.
We bought into that rivalry a little bit too much.
Yeah. Like there was definitely the like dark and creepy vibes going on, and that, you know, we saw two zombies in their place, and Myrn was like,
Nope. Nope. This is my course, and I'm sticking to it.
Mm-hmm.
so
Were they aware that they're plant-made zombies? I feel like there's some ethical issues there.
He bought the bodies, got permission from the families.
Did he get permission to reanimate them, possibly? Like, was that in the contract?
Ross told you all at the beginning that sometimes families pay him to bring their loved ones back from the dead. And you were like, I don't know why anyone would want to do that. And then I was like, well, you don't get them back the way that they were before.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
I did really appreciate those little comments stuff you made at the beginning that then came full circle at the end. I was like, oh, all right. We should have looked into that a bit more.
I think my favorite parts of the story actually were like in the middle, like the middle meat stuff that was like maybe boring for others, but I pulled that shop out of nowhere, and I love that Kenku, and that jump scare was like my favorite thing ever. It's hard to do jump scares over video, and I feel like I got y'all. That was fun for me. And then I also just loved everything about the actual party itself, like Myrn stepping on the tablecloth, and Rare Trick freaking out about the dog in the fountain, and Orgona like getting caught by Zangu, and just like it was just so fun. It was so great.
I think the party was my favorite part. The party, and toward the very end of the fight, when the plant's doing its thing, and then what were they, ghasts come in, and Myrn just decides to go full vigilante. And then we're like, oh, bye. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that stepping on the tablecloth. Just like, oh, okay. I think this was more of the I don't know. This whole thing reminded me of how do I put it? There's a few. I don't. It had a vibe of like the Muppets to it, in some way. Of the shenanigans, or the there's a word that I'm trying to think of. The misadventures. The do you know what I'm trying to say though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there was just this charm to the whole story, and the party being this oddball group of, honestly, we were all pretty like shadowy people.
People. I don't know if any of us was meant to be super charismatic, like Rare Trick, yeah. But like all the conversations we had with NPCs, I'm like, this is chaos. Like, especially like Adam's character when he was trying to like interrogate people out in the garden club. I was like, I'm here for the energy, but what is it? Like, is this controllable?
I think my like listening back as just as a listener, I think my favorite quote from both parts from the entire thing was Adam, your character going, "Yeah, I pick up context clues." And it wasn't breaking the fourth wall, but it was just like your character was just like it's like it was like something in The Office where I just pictured your character just vaguely looking over the shoulder of the person they were talking to at the camera for a half second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah. But it was a weird session for me in general. It was our first stream. I was managing the stream. Never gonna do that again. There were so many like technical difficulties, but everyone hung in there the whole time, which was insane. Like looking back, like we didn't really lose viewers. Everyone was there. So thank you if you were on the stream and you were participating. And then I'm not going to lie about this. That corpse flower was dead like 3 rounds before I actually killed it. Because what the actual fuck? Like come on, guys. Like, maybe I could have, I don't know. I tried to go the mechanics route. This is what happens to me. This is a teaser of podcast. Both is good. And the first episode is about XP versus Milestone. And like, this was even before that, but I was like, I'm going to try to go the mechanics route. And then you all just fucking mutilate and murder this flower in like 2 rounds. And I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
That's welcome to my life as a DM. I am still trying to figure out balance and all of that. I am just like, yes, it is still attacking you. It is menacing.
And we still had all of our resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never
I didn't
used
even
a
know what
magic
your
item.
magic items were. Yeah.
I never used one. I like vaguely had an idea of one I could pull if I needed it, but I never really even picked one out. Never used one.
I got to use mine just because it was the all-purpose tool.
Oh yeah.
So I had like the unbreakable lockpick type thing, and I was like, this will come in handy.
Yes. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was great. It was very Scooby-Doo-y, I think, as well. Like it's Muppet Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. I like that.
The chaos of our investigating skills can only be compared to a cartoon show.
I remember listening back to it and catching on to the detail of the rhino covered in the mushrooms. And I went, like, I don't think I picked that up in session. I was just like, oh, weird creature. And then the visual coming back as a listener was like, oh, wow. Okay. Oh, it was just a powerful visual.
Strixhaven. Both the dog in plant creature in the fountain and that mushroom creature from Strixhaven. They really amped up their plants for that one, which I like. I like plant beasts. They're less predictable.
There should be more plants.
I know. Well, cool. Any last remarks about the one shot?
It was a fun time. It was chaotic. Chaotic on technical end, personality end, party end.
I never got that cookie.
I guess. Way to wrangle in such a chaotic group and make a like legible story out of it.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, you could have just sat us in a room and been like, "You're just gonna be in a bar for 3 hours chatting with each other," and we would have had just as much fun.
You're all going shopping? You have 2 coupons.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this will actually happen, but I got a new TTRPG handbook called Wander Home. It has no mechanics. It's only storytelling. And I am thinking about maybe seeing if y'all want to do that for our next stream. So it essentially is just like putting everyone in a room to see if you want to just talk to each other. But we'll see. We'll see. I gotta feel comfortable about it, and I want y'all to feel comfortable about it as well. Well, cool. We don't have a lot of time left, but I do want to touch on episode 44, which was released yesterday and is a juicy episode where Godfrey is plopped next to Livy and Scylla at Maya's temple. Morgus finally breaks Maya's hold, aka charm, while braiding her hair. And Zebo finds herself concussed, locked in a dungeon with the Bigfoot.
I didn't know it was a Bigfoot. But you didn't know it was a Bigfoot.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big episode. We probably could have talked about this one the whole time, but I'd love to just pass it to y'all for your highlights, things you want to touch on, things you loved, whatever you like.
Where did this particular episode end? Just to make sure.
With Ziba meeting the sprites in the water.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good to know.
Just wanted to poke him.
you did, and you got almost stabbed in the finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her problem. I don't have to deal with your bad attitude.
I think one of the things that stands out for me, like from a player perspective, was communicating non-verbal communication between characters in a session, because it's one thing to just directly describe context clues for another player and hope they get that, and Liz picked up on it immediately as Scylla. That was really cool.
The power of words.
Yeah.
That was cool. Episode.
I like coming off of that episode, and I think, yeah, mostly this episode, it's just, I think it's setting the grounds for a later conversation that Godfrey really wants to have with Scylla. And I think this really was like an episode that kind of cemented that character dynamic between the two of them in a way that maybe that had been hinted at like in some other episodes, but I think really came through strong in this one. And it was an episode that was, you know, I'd been thinking about it for a month, so I'm trying to I was trying to get back into the mind state of Godfrey just waking up without a heartbeat and being a medical practitioner and knowing that he's dead, you know, like he shouldn't be moving kind of idea. And then just having the shock upon shock upon shock of what's happened in this single day, in this 24-hour period to this person. There's a limit to everyone's like sanity. And I think this is Godfrey like hitting that limit of I can't react to anything anymore. Nothing's real. Like I need to just go kind of idea.
Yeah. I will echo that for Ed or Livy. There's a beautiful interaction at the very top of the episode where they run over to help you, Livy and Scylla, and you describe that Godfrey has no heartbeat. And Livy is like, Ed describes this perfectly. He's like, Livy is trying to take breaths to lessen their panic attack out of habit, even though they can't breathe, because this is like the 5th one today, and like what the fuck, you know, just his nerves are fried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was interesting to be in that headspace and try to play through that episode. And I feel like Liz and Scylla did a really good job of giving enough back and forth for Godfrey to be able to kind of stabilize for a moment, you know, and just kind of focus a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So what was your favorite part of this episode?
My favorite? I was in a cell.
Not the whole time. You got out.
Look at the very not this episode.
Yeah, huh? At the very.
Oh, did I?
And then you started debating about the physics of no air hole, so I had to make one.
I don't know how that got through. Sorry about that. I think actually one thing I was worried about in this episode when I was talking with the Bigfoot, I was trying to like convey these like messages, you know, or like, you know, advice or themes for someone who's in a bad situation. And they're like, you seem really wise for someone your age. And I was trying to convey it in a way that made it seem like it wasn't my character who was really wise. It's just that they had been surrounded by wise people, and people had been surrounding them and saying that to them throughout their entire life. They clearly grew up around good people that they just reiterated because that's what they've been taught. You know, that's what they've heard a million times. And so I was wondering if that came across correctly. It's not really Ziba that's wise. It's just they've been surrounded by good people and have heard the wise things said to them. Did they listen to that? Now, that is a conversation for another time. But I wasn't sure how that came across.
Man, you're making my philosophy brain go crazy right now. Like, you're surrounded by wise people, which means you're inherently wise. And does wisdom only mean that you have to act on your words, or can you be wise without acting upon the knowledge that you have around wisdom?
Well, so that made me worried that I made it about to be too wise, because if it's not supposed to be wise. So I was like, oh, do I need to backtrack here? This is not in what I had in mind.
I think, okay, so maybe mechanically Ziba doesn't have the highest wisdom score. I don't think it's that low, but
it is a -1.
Okay. But
that could change. I still haven't decided what I'm going to be working on as a character.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I thought it was just Ziba being wise.
I always feel in a difficult position because I want, like, game mechanics wise to show also my character's growth. Like, we were talking about this. We were talking about, like, what adding to ability scores. So I was like, oh no, did I make Ziba out to seem too wise? They're not supposed to be a wise character right now. That's later game.
Yeah. I think my favorite moment of the session is when Scylla asks Maya if she knows what it means to be a good friend.
I forgot how heavy this session was.
That back and forth, and the moment between Scylla and Godfrey when Maya says, the third is to never leave them behind, which is so true for her. And I just get so into character that I'm not even thinking about anything else. And then when Liz was like, I look over at Godfrey, I was like, fuck, it's all connected. But like, that's only connected based on your choices, and this is why I fucking love D&D. Yeah, that was a great moment for me. Anything else to add about episode 44 before we go into questions?
I'm excited to re-listen to episode 44 now.
Yeah, it's a good one.
We're gonna have to figure out what happened to my backpack.
We already played another session where we RP'd you having your backpack. So you have your backpack, even though in episode 44 you said you left it behind.
Well, I left it behind because I was going through the ceiling and I didn't think it would fit. But then I didn't end up going through the ceiling, so I feel like I would have picked it back up again because it would have fit.
Didn't say it didn't happen. I'm just kidding.
Well, now I had to remember, right? Because I have the backpack. I have it.
Yeah, you have it.
On a podcast game where you could edit out us saying things.
I know, that's insane. I would never do that. That's evil, Adam.
I know. It's like, I don't know.
I'm here to mess with discontinuity. It's fine.
What if the real big bad is just the editor all along? It becomes a very meta game.
Whoa.
But at the same time, how interesting would it be to be on a podcast where we have our game and we make our choices and do our things, and then get to listen to it back, and it's almost a totally different story based on the editing.
That's reality TV.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. It'd be hard to do.
Real world Florencia.
Oh my god, now I just had an idea.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit. Okay. Ready for questions?
Questions.
All right. Let's go with questions. All right. Ziba. Did you actually want to leave Godfrey behind, or did you think about going back as a listener, listening back, not at the session?
Not as I wasn't at that session anyways.
Mhm.
So as a listener, I'll think if I was playing as Ziba, and I still think I would have ran away. I feel like there was a lot going on and a lot to like process in the moment, and I don't think Ziba as a character has the capacity to process that much. And with everything that was going on, it would have been very, kind of a sheep, easy to guide in a direction according to the group of Godfrey said run, they would have run. As a listener, yeah, I mean, you never want to leave people behind, but he's acted real confident. He really seemed like he had it covered.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I think I would have left Godfrey. Sorry, man.
Yeah. I mean, you did. I just wanted to make sure, see how you felt since you weren't there,
Yeah, we did kind of talk about this beforehand too, though. Where I was like, "This, I think, is the headspace right now." So I feel like this is what's gonna go down. I think I exactly said to you, they're gonna do whatever Godfrey tells them to.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was like word for word before the session even started. I said, "There's dead bodies. There's possibly gods. Like I know that there's." I know there's shit going down, and I think this is going to overwhelm Ziba, and they're going to be a little freaked out, and they're just going to do whatever Godfrey tells them to do because they've kind of like helped carry them through the last few fights. That was word for word. I said they're going to do what Godfrey did. Godfrey said run. So,
Yep. Yeah. I have a listener question for you all. Is anyone at all worried about the frogman with a book at the top of the tower?
Yes.
We should be very worried.
we should be worried. Have we processed that in a while?
Yeah.
No.
That frogman is still there. I was still reading that book.
I completely forgot about the frogman.
Or he just
that frogman just seems really small, but it's actually
yeah. Or
oh no.
Everyone else comes through the portal, and the frogman on his lunch break just needed a quiet place to read. Goes through the portal,
right,
then goes back to work.
Maybe it's nothing.
It's nothing. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, because Godfrey flew up and saw that, and I had the check roll to see if I knew what it was. So I as a player have about a dozen things that I think it might be, and most of them are really bad.
I just think it's bad because the only times we've seen frogs is when there's been like giant demon activity. So I'm just assuming it's related to that with my limited character and D&D mechanic knowledge.
I have a question for Sierra.
Yeah.
Because, and this is going to be very vague and oblique. I thought I recognized that book. Did I recognize that book at the top of that tower?
You didn't see it. Only Godfrey saw it.
Well, no, just as a player listening to it.
Oh, I'm sure that you know what that book is.
Okay.
For sure.
Thought so. Yep. Just wondering. So, thank you.
Should I be more worried?
Yes.
No. Great. Thank you, listener, for bringing up that frog that might need still to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Another thing on the list.
I have a question. Think the Mushroom King will write in the next lore book you get?
Oh. I hope he gets all of our names wrong. I don't know why that's a detail that I feel needs to be added, but I feel like it's necessary.
It'll be Zibby and
Yep.
Fivey and Forgus and
Yeah.
Sodfree.
I feel like we're
and
gonna be in there for waking up some
Milla.
gods, and all of the names will be wrong because that just seems right.
I kind of expect it to be just a more filled out version of the new gods list that we have. The new gods are very vague right now, and we've definitely met one of them firsthand. So if we're able to observe them, like the Mushroom Kings can never be seen. So clearly the Mushroom King can observe them and have more detail. I'd hope.
I might just have more ambitions for us here. I'm thinking that we'll be putting one of these god lore books.
Not impossible. Daniel. Your face.
We're going through a lot right
No,
now.
it's not impossible. It's not.
Cool. Anyone have any other questions? We're getting to the end of our time. Questions for each other, questions for me.
I'm just watching Morgus process information right now. It's,
No, I
Let's see if
just
it
I
gets
just
okay.
remembered where we left off in the other game. It's so bad. It's
It
good,
doesn't matter.
but
It's just a game.
It's just a game. It's fine. It's fine. Just yeah.
I want to play a game where everyone is a mycelium, whatever the fuck they're called, the mushroom people that are D&D options, and you all get to play as a part of the Mushroom King's kingdom, which is a fully fleshed out thing in the world that only Adam has ever interacted with because he rolled a natural 20. There's so
I'll be
many
down.
layers. I have way too much time on my hands to think about this.
the things
This
I could
world.
do as a mushroom.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun for a one shot. That'd be
I think I
down.
want to be like a little mushroom spores druid person with a spider, like a full size giant spider familiar that's been reanimated with the fungus that reanimates spiders or bugs. You know what I'm talking
shit.
about?
Yes.
Like,
A giant one though, it would be
Well-
so big. How would
well,
you
no,
get on it?
no, like just
You
like
blend
in
right in with the fungal
perspective.
mushrooms.
You know, like I'm a tiny
Mhm.
mushroom, but it's a large spider, so I could ride on it. Only spider would only be about that big, but be huge for a little mushroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, go
I
ahead,
have
Adam.
one last question for you. Is there something that you thought we wouldn't miss that we definitely walked by, obviously, and didn't do?
Throughout the entire campaign so far, or like
Like in the last couple episodes, like getting to the tower and going back to the glade. Did you feel like at any point you had put up this like big like sign that's like, "Hey, do this," and we just like went left instead?
yeah, the whole tower itself.
Oh,
Well, we can do.
If you would have done the tower when the tower was introduced, you would have leveled up.
We got there eventually.
we had to go check in with the character. So you know,
we got there eventually, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Well, cool. Thanks everyone for watching and listening, and thank you, Daniel and Adam and Avis, and we'll catch you around. Bye.
Bye.